Week 4 of the Trump trial, and boy, time flies when you're constantly falling asleep in court, doesn't it? But I can guarantee you Trump didn't nap during today's testimony, which brings us to our latest installment of America's most tremendous. Mild distrust of Donald Trump not winning the election caused so many folks to move over to news that was more comforting.
A public outburst by former President Donald Trump was followed by a blistering piece by comedian Jordan Klepper, who is renowned for his razor-sharp political satire, in a shocking exhibition of a former president. Klepper gave a scathing indictment of Trump's widely documented love life that went viral very quickly. Because of the former president's outburst, his private life has once again been scrutinized, sparking discussions about his tumultuous relationships.
The whole thing is a scam.
The host of The Daily Show, who has a keen eye for detail and a gift for dissecting complex legal proceedings, recently performed a program in which she delved into some extremely distressing testimony from former President Donald Trump's continuing hush money trial. The host successfully engaged the audience by providing thoughtful analysis and insightful comments, which prompted them to contemplate the wider ramifications of the continuing legal dispute. The episode shed light on the complexities of the case and posed important queries regarding the moral ramifications of Trump's conduct.
Right now, in the courtroom, our reporters in there are sending us notes, updates every second that they can, and Mr. Trump's defense attorney, Susan Nichols, is saying, quote, "We're informed the second witness today will be Stormy Daniels. We want to renew our objection to her testifying particularly about any details of any sexual."
When a well-known person, such as Stormy Daniels, is involved, it only helps to heighten public curiosity and scrutiny during her testimony. As Daniels took the testimony to discuss her relationship with the former president, Daily Show contributor Jordan Klepper emphasized the unexpectedly intimate nature of the proceedings during the most recent round of Donald Trump's hush money trial. Kerr's assessment underscores the seriousness of the situation and the possibly detrimental effects on Trump in the event that further personal information is disclosed in court. Daniels revealed details about Trump's silk pajamas and incidents in which he allegedly sought a spanking from a magazine. She also disclosed that Trump and his spouse used separate bedrooms for sleeping. Insightful details concerning the trial's progress and its effects on Trump's legal standing and public image may be found in Melania Trump Klepper's opinion.
That when she first entered Trump's hotel suite, he greeted her wearing silk pajamas. She says she joked that he stole Hugh Hefner's pajamas and asked him to change, which he did. According to Daniels, when she asked Trump about his wife, he admitted that he and Melania sleep in separate beds. After speaking with Trump for a while, Daniels told Trump he was rude and didn't know how to have a conversation. "Someone should spank you with that magazine," she told him. She says Trump then rolled up the magazine and, quote, "gave me a look." So she took it from him, told him to turn around, and swatted him on.
Poor magazine. Hasn't print media suffered enough? Spanking, silk pajamas, separate beds. These revelations are so uncomfortably personal that even Drake is like, ooh, sucks to be that guy.
These exposed the Trump family's inner workings and spurred additional discussions about their relationship. In addition to arousing public interest, Daniels' disclosure of these personal facts has sparked concerns about the former president's behavior and character. This additional level of scrutiny could influence public opinion, as well as the ongoing political and legal narrative around Trump. But if any of that unnerves you, hang on. Things only get worse. Daniel testified that Donald Trump had said something that made her sound like his daughter, Ivanka Trump. Such revelations about the personal lives of public personalities frequently have a big influence on public opinion and conversation. According to Daniel's account, the remark makes reference to a widely acknowledged and potentially inappropriate degree of analogy between the adult film star and Trump's own child. These disclosures raise greater moral and ethical questions regarding Trump's activities, in addition to providing more insight into his private interactions and talks. The similarities exacerbate the public's and media's focus on Trump's affiliations and behavior, as well as the controversies surrounding the trial.
Daniels testified that at one point prior to them having sex, Trump told her she reminded him of his daughter Ivanka, saying they were both smart, blonde, beautiful women who people underestimated.
If true, This allegation cast doubt on Trump's attitudes towards women in general, as well as the nature of his relationship with his daughter. Regardless of the source, such remarks could be seen as rude and disrespectful, especially coming from a well-known and influential person. Public leaders must exercise caution when they talk and behave, because it could reflect negatively on them and their duties to the public. This episode emphasizes the importance of accountability and the requirement that those in positions of authority continue to act in a way that is suitable for their status.
Girl dad. Look, I know it's old news to us that Donald Trump wants to smear-tarnish his daughter, but remember, the court worked hard to find an unbiased jury, which means there's at least one person on there who was in a coma for the last 10 years.
It might not have even been the biggest revelation of the day. How Trump got Stormy to have sex with him is maybe the most damning detail of it all. According to Kerr, Daniels suggested she go on The Apprentice before telling her, "This is the only way you're getting out of the caravan park," and revealing his underwear. The former president, Donald Trump, is presently mired in contentious court proceedings. He broke a gag order, which could result in jail time and a $99,000 fine. Specifically on Tuesday, his legal issues got worse. Stormy Daniels, an adult film actress, testified in court about their alleged affair in 2006, going into great detail and forcing Trump to stay mute. Even in the midst of these dramatic circumstances, this development highlights the intricacies and complexity of the ongoing legal battle, as well as the gravity of the problems the former president faces in court. Even though Daniels' revelations about Trump comparing her to his daughter Ivanka may not have been the most significant revelation of the day, they have sparked a tremendous amount of debate. Every new discovery during the trial adds a new layer to the narrative, which keeps the audience intrigued.
Now, the crux of this case is that Trump allegedly paid Stormy Daniels hush money to cover up their affair just before the 2016.
Jordan Klepper concurred, voicing his shock at the unsettling disclosure that Donald Trump isn't just a lousy romantic partner who inappropriately raises his daughter in private. Rather, he's portrayed as a cunning individual who coerces women into having sex acts with him by offering them the chance to advance in their careers. In addition to being uncomfortable, this inappropriate action raises questions about the morality and ethics of someone in such a prominent position of authority. Klepper stated that public leaders ought to be held responsible and morally responsible for their activities because they have serious consequences. He also concurred that Trump is a terrible lover who thinks talking about his daughter is a respectable way to initiate foreplay, rather than just a creep who uses her as a prop to persuade people to have sex with him. Klepper asked, mockingly, "Who would have imagined that a man found guilty of sexual assault would force a lady into having sex?" in response to the former president's acts. These days, it actually looks as though you can't even trust sexual offenders. Actress Stormy Daniels is the focus of a hush money payment lawsuit brought against Donald Trump, who is now on trial. In this trial, he is the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges. The prosecution's main line of attack is that he falsified company documents to hide the payment while the case was pending. In court, Ms. Daniels divulged details of her claimed sexual encounter with Mr. Trump, who was seated a short distance away. She says she had sex with Mr. Trump and promised to keep the meeting hidden in exchange for receiving $130,000 or $14,000 from his former lawyer prior to the 2016 election. Michael Cohen was later detained on several charges following the revelation of the allegations in 2018. The president has consistently refuted any claims that he had any kind of sexual relationship with Ms. Daniels. As the trial moves forward, a lot of attention has been paid to it because the outcome may affect both Trump's legal status and reputation. Oh, please, please stop pretending that you're too good for this and that you've never seen genitalia. It's true that you're extremely sensitive to names that resemble characters from a sex-oriented movie. Jordan Klepper claims that Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress Stormy Daniels, and billionaire and former U.S. President Donald Trump are said to have had a one-night personal encounter at the core of the Donald Trump crisis. It includes allegations that Trump changed company documents in connection with this project and devised a scheme to conceal the incident in the month leading up to the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The story initially came to light in 2018, when the Wall Street Journal published information claiming that Daniels received $130,000 from Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, in return for her silence during the 2016 presidential campaign. Since then, the issue has dominated legal proceedings and public discourse, throwing doubt on Trump's presidential candidature and raising questions about his actions and the moral standards of people in positions of power.
Hey, Stormy Daniels told us exactly what all that money was hushing, starting from the very beginning of the night Donald Trump invited her for dinner in his home.
Following the crisis, Cohen voluntarily agreed to cooperate with federal authorities and claimed that the funds sent to Daniels were an unlawful contribution made to Trump's campaign with the intention of influencing the election result. A grand jury was convened by the New York District Attorney's Office to investigate Trump's purported involvement. On March 30, 2023, the grand jury chose to prosecute Trump. The situation escalated in 2018 once it became known to the public that Trump had paid Cohen back using false corporate documents that were made with the intention of concealing their true use. Cohen was given a 3-year prison sentence after entering a guilty plea to this and other offenses. This information greatly expanded the scandal's legal implications, raising public concern about Trump's actions and potential legal penalties. Today marked a turning point in American legal history because Stormy Daniels did what she does best: spanked Trump. Donald, according to Stephen Colbert, the former President Trump was accused of falsifying his business records in a historic legal case in New York to conceal a number of potential offenses, including Michael Cohen's purported illegal campaign contribution, tax law violations, and his alleged involvement in a scheme to rig the 2016 presidential election. Following a comprehensive trial, the jury found him guilty of all 34 charges. This remarkable outcome marked the first time since the original revelations published by the Wall Street Journal that a former U.S. president had been found guilty of a crime. Trump and Stormy Daniels have both actively addressed the scandal and raised legal issues through civil lawsuits. A participant on The Daily Show expressed doubt about the potential political consequences of Donald Trump's current judicial procedures. On Monday night, Jordan Kerr covered the latest happenings in Trump's hush money trial instead of Jon Stewart. Klepper's observations suggest a lack of optimism over the likelihood of significant political fallout. It was disclosed by trial judge Juan Merchan that Donald Trump had once again broken his gag order. As a result, the former president received a stern warning threatening to go to jail if his misbehavior persisted. The gravity of the matter was underscored by the judge's firm stance in favor of enforcing court orders and the consequences of violating them. Judge Marchand's unequivocal remarks serve as a potent reminder of the accountability that extends to the highest echelons of government, showing that everyone, regardless of status or influence, is subject to the repercussions of defying court orders. The threat of Trump's potential imprisonment looms over his acts, underscoring the need to follow court orders and uphold the integrity of the judicial system, regardless of how long he spends in jail for breaking the gag order or for years for receiving hush money. He will continue to serve as the next president. Scandal. On Monday night, Klepper claimed that the joke had won him alcohol from the studio crowd, causing him to avert his eyes from the polls. Klepper was a seasoned correspondent and acting host who could playfully parody Judge Merchant's ominous warning with a hint of irony. His gag order repertoire extended far beyond the odd order joke. Trump's persistent defiance of the gag order, which Klepper brought to the judge's attention, resulted in him being found in contempt 10 times. The judge also made it clear that Trump might face punitive actions for any more order violations, including the possibility of jail time. "Donald, you finished it now. The judge will seriously consider jail time if you break the gag order for the 11th time." In addition to highlighting how absurd the scenario was, Klepper's sharp commentary skillfully shed light on the delicate balance that exists between authority and responsibility in the context of legal processes. Even for those in positions of power, his sharp wit served as a powerful reminder of the dangers of unbridled power and the necessity of deference to judicial authority. Klepper replied, "I mean, he's seriously thinking about the repercussions of your actions, but just one more chance." Kerr continued to assert that Trump possesses the mental capacity of a toddler, stating that if a toddler can comprehend that when their parents start counting, for example, 9.5, 9 and 3/4, then the brat has already won. Kerr began by pointing out that no member of the judiciary would be willing to imprison a former head of state. According to Klepper, Trump's fury in response to Jordan. As the narrative develops, it becomes increasingly evident that the probe into Trump's personal life raises more significant questions of leadership responsibilities and character integrity than just light gossip. That's all for now. I'll see you in the following video. The intense spotlight that Klepper's love life has received from the public serves as a sobering reminder of the ego's vulnerability. Such outbursts may momentarily divert attention from the important matters at hand, but in the end, they emphasize how important transparency and accountability are in public administration. Until then, goodbye.